All right, man, peace. So, brothers, for many of you who follow boxing, you should know that on Saturday night, January 19th, Emmanuel Adrien Pacquiao, a.k.a. Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao, is going to square off against Adrien the Problem Broner in a very important welterweight bout. Why do I say that? Because whoever wins this fight is most likely going to become Floyd Mayweather's next opponent, particularly if it's Manny Pacquiao. If it's Adrien Broner, Mayweather probably won't be bothered with it. But I do believe that fighting Adrien Broner was one of the conditions that was given to Manny Pacquiao by Al Haymon in order for Manny to be able to secure a rematch with Floyd Mayweather. Because at this point in his career, Manny Pacquiao is almost strictly looking for economic windfalls. I do believe that he's still very eager to engage in the sweet science. He still loves to fight. But at this stage of his life, he's more cognizant of the importance of being economically responsible. He knows that now. Back 9-10 years ago when Mayweather was trying to explain that to him, he did not quite grasp it. But in the aftermath of their 9-figure extravaganza in 2015, I think that it finally dawned on Manny, wow, he was right the whole time. I need to be my own boss. I can make more money being my own boss. I can secure my own finances. I can make sure that I can ensure the future of my family when I am my own boss. So now that Manny Pacquiao is finally starting to think with a ruling class mentality, expect his partnership with Al Haymon to be much happier and more fruitful than it was when he was signed to Bob Arum. So anyway, Manny recently sat down with the crew at Inside PBC Boxing to discuss not only his up-and-coming fight with Adrien Broner, but also the fight that appears to be on the horizon with Floyd Mayweather. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Emmanuel Adrien Pacquiao is one of the most decorated boxers in history. Currently the WBA regular welterweight champion, the Filipino made his pro debut in 1995 and turned 40 just a few weeks ago. He will fight in his 70th pro bout next weekend, returning to Las Vegas for the first time since 2016. And with
Manny Pacquiao's current record is 60 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. That just goes to show you the difference in how Manny Pacquiao is evaluated and how he's viewed as opposed to Floyd Mayweather. Because people consider Manny Pacquiao to be on the level of Floyd Mayweather, and there were 9 fights where he was unable to secure the victory, while Floyd Mayweather is 50-0. I mean, really 49-0, because I don't quite count the bout against Conor McGregor. But when we compare the resume of Floyd Mayweather against the resume of Manny Pacquiao and factor in proficiency, it's not quite close. Is Manny Pacquiao one of the all-time great boxers? Absolutely, no question about it. But Mayweather pretty much is on the level of Muhammad Ali, of Ray Robinson, and I'm sure that many people will try to fight me on that. That's a video for another day, but there's no doubt about that. Manny Pacquiao is on the level below that. Manny Pacquiao is with Roberto Duran. He's with Ray Leonard. He's with Thomas Hearns, boxers of that ilk. But on that top level, you have Floyd Mayweather, you have Ray Robinson, you have Muhammad Ali, maybe a couple of other guys.
With that, Manny Pacquiao joins us. Welcome to the show, Manny. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Looking good. Talk to us about the Adrien Broner fight, which is coming up, of course. How did the fight come about? How did it get made?
How it got made was that Manny Pacquiao wanted another chance at Floyd Mayweather so that he could make 9 figures. That's how it got made. Al Haymon told him, no problem, Manny. Not only are we going to get you to fight with Floyd, but we're going to assist you in promoting your own fighters so that you can start your own business. All I need from you is to fight Adrien Broner, because I've been trying to get rid of this guy for the last 3 years now, and it's very difficult to get rid of him. And it's very obvious when you observe the matchmaking for Adrien Broner that Al Haymon is trying to get rid of Adrien Broner. Anytime you have a fighter get in the ring with Sean Porter, with Mikey Garcia, now with Manny Pacquiao, it's very clear that Al Haymon is trying to get Adrien Broner out of there.
We talk with Al, and we understand each other, and the agreement it's fixed by our lawyer. So.
But it was a fight that you particularly wanted. Did you want Adrien Broner?
Oh yeah. I believe that he can give a good fight in the ring.
He's going to give a good fight, and my prediction for this bout is going to be, unless Manny Pacquiao ages drastically on this night, which you never know. He's 40 years old. Great athletes, they drop off very quickly, especially when they get into their late 30s, early 40s. So you never know how Manny's going to look on Saturday night. But as of right now, I'm going to predict that Pacquiao is going to win by decision. I think that Adrien will be able to last 12 rounds because he's always shown heart in the ring. He's shown that he has a great chin, great beard. Every big fight that he's been in, he's lost. Every time Adrien has stepped up in class, he's lost. But he's always made a relatively good account of himself when it comes to heart. So I think that Pacquiao won't be any different. It would not surprise me if Manny were to drop Adrien. I don't think that he'll drop him multiple times, but maybe once. And after a while, Adrien he'll just become resolved to the fact that he's in the ring with a fighter on another class from him. Adrien Broner is a gatekeeper. He's the modern day Zab Judah. Extremely physically talented, but he's missing a couple of components that an elite level fighter needs. Zab Judah was missing the chin. Adrien Broner is missing the footwork and the ring IQ.
To entertain the fans.
What do you see as his biggest strength as a boxer? Where will he cause you most trouble?
He'll cause Manny the most trouble early on in the fight. And that's where Manny has to be careful. Because Adrien Broner is a live dog in this fight. I'm going to repeat, he is a live dog in the fight. If Adrien were to win the fight, it would not shock me, but it would not go to decision. Adrian's not going to win this fight by decision. He's going to have to stop Manny. And he might get a flash knockout where he can catch Manny early coming in. But I suspect that Manny Pacquiao is going to start the fight out with his hands up and with his chin down early, just trying to see what Adrien responds to and what he reacts to. Adrian's problem is, once again, that his feet are nowhere near as good as you would think his feet would be. He's very stationary. Also, his head movement is not that good. It's not as good as you would suspect for a fighter who tries to mimic Floyd Mayweather. Adrien also has very short arms. And that's going to hurt him against Pacquiao, because that means that Pacquiao will be able to counter him in the same way that Adrien will be able to counter Pacquiao. So expect Pacquiao to try to feint Adrien early to see if he can get Adrien to try to counter his feints and then counter over Adrian's counters. We know that Adrien likes to fight with his shoulders very square. So that means that he'll be available for Pacquiao's straight left right down the middle. We'll see if Adrien can avoid that straight left, because when that straight left hits, Adrian's going to know about it. But once again, Broner will be a live dog, especially early, particularly in the first 4, maybe even 6 rounds, but especially the first 4 rounds, Pacquiao's going to have to be very, very careful.
Adrien is he's a kind of fighter that you cannot underestimate or take him lightly. He's fast and he can move. He has a power, so I have to make sure that I'm 100% conditioned and work hard.
Manny, who's a better trash talker, Mayweather or Broner?
There's 2 different types of trash talk. Mayweather actually did not even really trash talk Pacquiao in the build-up for their fight, because by the time their fight was happening, it was already going to be a guaranteed almost $500 million revenue overall. So there was no real need for them to trash talk. Now, from 2009 up to about 2012, Mayweather's trash talk of Pacquiao and his team was pretty constant. When we're talking about Adrien Broner's trash talk is just, I mean, he goes all the way into the gutter. Like, he's Broner's one of those guys, and I say this all the time about him. We've all grown up around certain people like Adrien Broner, either your homeboy or your neighbor, or could have been your cousin or your brother, who you're just so happy that they were able to find something that they were good at, that they could express themselves through. Because if it were not for that, it's almost a guarantee that they will be dead or in prison. Adrien Broner is one of those guys. When I listen to him speak, I'm so happy for him that he found boxing. Because he's such a fucking idiot that if it were not for boxing, there's no doubt that he would be dead or in prison right now. And hopefully for him, he'll be able to teach his children things or show his children things because of the additional access to great things that they'll have due to his riches, that they'll become better people than he became. Nothing against Adrien, but you could tell that he's troubled. And it would not surprise me if somewhere down the line he states that he was molested as a child. He comes off to me as somebody who was adulterated in his childhood. Certain brothers might say, well, how do you know that? It's just certain things that you see, certain little triggers that you see. And I saw the press conference for the Broner-Pacquiao fight where Adrien Broner, he spazzed out on the announcer. And it's very obvious to me that Adrien Broner is somebody who is tight. He's wound up. He's very nervous about this fight because he knows that he's getting in there with a legend. And he knows what's going to be said about him if he were to lose, especially in a very embarrassing manner. I believe the announcer was Al Bernstein, who's a legend in boxing circles. Al Bernstein is basically like the Marv Albert of boxing. He's the person that almost everybody knows, grew up with. He's called many, many legendary fights going all the way back from the early 80s. Adrien Broner kind of spazzed out on him, but I'll say this. Sometimes people spazz out on somebody because they know that person is full of shit. And if you listen to Al Bernstein's call of the Adrien Broner-Marcos Maidana fight, Al Bernstein was so happy when Adrien Broner was getting his ass whooped. It was very, very clear and obvious that Al Bernstein had an issue with Adrien Broner. From then, that was back in 2013. So, sometimes people spaz out and they look crazy, but if you're perceptive, you understand why they're doing what they're doing. And sometimes certain people have no filter. Adrien Broner is one of those guys with no filter. If he knows that you're not feeling him, he's going to let you know that he knows. Either way, it's very clear to me that Adrien Broner is very nervous about this fight. I think that early on he's going to be tight, and Pacquiao is going to try to capitalize on it by seeing how well he responds to certain feints.
No comment.
No comment.
What do you think is at stake for you personally in this fight?
What's at stake is that if he wins, he gets Mayweather. At least that's what he's been promised. Allegedly.
My thinking?
What do you think is at stake? What does this fight mean, either way the outcome goes? What does that mean for your career, for you personally?
This fight is very important to me because this is my first fight at the age of 40. So I have to prove something that I'm still there. I can still fight.
Are you feeling that? Are you feeling those 40 years? Are you training any differently?
He's probably going to say no. But at the end of the day, being an in shape and a well-conditioned 40-year-old is not like being an in shape and well-conditioned 28-year-old.
Well, based on my body's reaction, I'm still there. I'm okay. My speed is still there. My aggressiveness and my desire to work hard is still there. My body reaction is still there. So
that's what you're claiming. We'll find out on Saturday night.
Nothing changed. I feel like early 30, late 20s. So.
Mm-hmm.
And getting back with with Freddie, what was the move there? Why did you get back with Freddie?
Well, this is not the first time happened with Freddie and I that he didn't train me in one fight. So it happened in the past. So Freddie is never kicked out from Team Pacquiao. He still belongs to Team Pacquiao. Yeah.
Has his role changed any?
No, it's still the same. And I just want.
Stop lying, Manny. Freddie Roach's role is not still the same. You don't need him to the degree that you needed him before. Freddie Roach was like a Svengali from Manny Pacquiao back in the day, but Manny Pacquiao is one of those fighters who basically can train himself. He doesn't even need a trainer to watch film for him. Like, Manny Pacquiao already knows how he's going to try to attack Adrien Broner just based off of fights of Broner's that he's seen in the past. When you get to the level of a Pacquiao, of a Mayweather, fighters with that of experience, there's only so much coaching that they need.
Boy, to experience to become a head trainer and to train and experience like that. Mm-hmm. And they're okay right now. They're talking each other what they're gonna do and
what everybody wants to know. What's going on with you and Floyd? Is there a future fight there?
Right now, I tell you frankly, my focus is to Adrien Broner. My plan is.
That's smart. Make sure that you focus on Adrien Broner because once again, Broner is a live dog in this fight. I would give him about maybe a 20% chance of beating Pacquiao. But if he were to knock out Pacquiao early on in the fight, would it shock me? No. Just about every fighter who's been in the ring with Broner will say the same thing. That being that he hits extremely hard and that he's very, very strong. Now, I've watched some of the build-up to the fight on the Showtime series All Access. And to be honest with you, Adrien Broner looks like somebody who had to force himself out of bed to train for this fight. He looked like somebody who just does not like to train anymore. And he's on his way to being fat and out of shape just like his dad. But I think, or I hope for his sake, that he's going to come into this fight in very good condition. But you never know what we're going to find out after this fight, especially if Adrien gets embarrassed It would not shock me at all if Kevin Cunningham, one of Adrien Broner's trainers, states after the fight, should Adrien get embarrassed, that we had trouble getting Adrien to come to camp, to train, to work out. It would not shock me at all. Because I'm not quite sure if Adrien Broner wants it as bad as he once did, especially now that he realizes that he's not going to be the next Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people try to harp on the fact that Mayweather always talks about how he's unbeaten. For certain fighters, that's how they keep their fire. It's very difficult for certain fighters to stoke that fire up again once they taste their first defeat. And Broner, I'm not quite sure if he's ever been the same since Maidana beat the shit out of him, because that fight, that was a hellified ass whooping that he took. And in the aftermath of that fight, right before the first Mayweather Maidana fight, what did we find out? We found out that Team Maidana and Team Garcia, meaning Marcos Maidana's trainer Robert Garcia, basically had Marcos Maidana in the ring with mittens on. Wasn't even real boxing gloves. There was no padding in the knuckle area. So Broner was in the ring with a guy who, basically tried to kill him. That's basically what Maidana tried to do, because there was no padding in those gloves. And that's why they were so upset when Mayweather and one of his co-trainers / managers, Leonard Ellaby, caught what Maidana and Garcia were trying to do with those gloves.
One at a time, because I'm 40 years old, so one at a time. And after this, January 19th, then let's talk about the next fight. Well, if he's going back or fight, there's possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw you sign the fight with Adrien, and my first thought was, okay, he's fighting a guy that is a lot like Floyd Mayweather.
Ding, that's the point. And that's pretty much been one of the programs ever since, I would say, 2013. Mayweather will have certain fighters that he wanted to fight square off against Adrien first. And if they were able to defeat Adrien, then they would get a shot at him. That's how Maidana got his shot at Mayweather in the first place.
That's where he's going to try to go after this fight. So I didn't know, maybe you had a plan after Broner.
We meet Floyd in Japan.
Yeah.
We met Floyd in Japan in music festival.
Yeah.
He went to my table and then he said, "But I want to challenge you, I want to fight you."
Yeah.
And I told him, "I'm a champion." Yeah.
Yeah.
Floyd don't care about that shit. I'm a champion. Floyd ain't care about that. It's all about the money. At the end of the day, I do believe that Floyd is going to give Manny Pacquiao a rematch, because Floyd always gives rematches to guys who claim that they beat him in the first fight, even though it was very clear that Floyd outboxed him. Manny had a couple of good moments. I think it was like round 4 and round 6. It was like 2 rounds that Manny won where he hurt Floyd twice. And Floyd made it very clear to his father in between rounds, when his father was trying to get Floyd to press the action, look, you're not in there. In other words, Floyd was letting him know, this dude Pacquiao hits very, very hard. And I think that Floyd had trouble seeing what angle Pacquiao was going to throw his punches from early on in the fight. And, he took a very cautious approach early on in the fight until he felt like Pacquiao was starting to get a little bit tired. But I think that Adrian's in for it. When he gets in the ring with Pacquiao, he's going to find out how hard this dude hits.
Yeah.
So Floyd fought that exhibition fight in Japan relatively recently, didn't he, over the new year against Tenshin Nasukawa. You tweeted this after that. You said, "Here's an early New Year's resolution to continue to only fight experienced opponents who are my size or bigger." Was that a shot at Floyd?
Obviously, it was a shot at Floyd, but it doesn't really matter, because Mayweather at this stage of his life and his career does whatever the hell he feels like doing.
That's my. He's
like, really?
That's my opinion.
I think it was.
Because
Can you blame Floyd for taking that fight, though? I mean, what, $9 million he made for that exhibition? Tired? Why shouldn't he?
Thank you, Kate Abdo. You understand the business of boxing. A lot of these guys are upset and jealous because of many of the economic opportunities that Floyd Mayweather has created for himself because of how cognizant he is. And a lot of people are not going to understand this or respect this until many, many years from now. They're going to look back and they're going to say, wow, the things that Floyd Mayweather did created so many economic opportunities and changed the thought process of so many other boxers to help stop them from retiring broke. Floyd Mayweather is almost like the Michael Jordan of boxing. And I'm not even talking about on a skill level or from a skill level perspective. I'm just talking about how he was able to adjust the thought process of the athlete when it comes to corporate cognizance, like just having an understanding of what you're worth and having that mobility, that daring to go out on your own and form your own enterprise and trust and believe in yourself. All these fighters that fight for PBC, they have to thank Floyd Mayweather, because none of those guys knew who Al Haymon was before Floyd Mayweather. It was Mayweather who would always shout out Al Haymon after many of his fights in the mid to late 2000s, where you had other fighters say, wow, who is that? That's the person who's getting Floyd Mayweather 8 figures for every fight, getting this guy $35 million. He's not even a knockout puncher. He's making $30 million a fight. This is back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. So that's the reason why you have the Sean Porters and the Keith Thurmans and the Abnormales is all fighting on the PBC banner, because of what Mayweather was able to establish in daring to go out on your own and change that boxing paradigm, as opposed to being a slave and a damn golem for Bob Arum your whole life.
Of course, we're a fighter. We know what is exhibition match. Exhibition match is you don't need to knock him out. You know, I mean, it's for show for the
even exhibition.
Right. That's an exhibition match, and then that's why the boy is almost crying, because he didn't expect that he got knocked out because.
Y'all can't see the video here, but Pacquiao's cracking up as he talk about the boy getting knocked out by Mayweather in an exhibition match. Yeah, what happened was they came in, they were supposed to do a little song and dance for 3 rounds, and the kid hit Floyd in the face, and Floyd got mad.
Because it's an exhibition match.
Do you think it was real? Do you think it was all fake? Do you think it was staged? Be honest, man.
Now listen to what Pacquiao says here in response to Abnormales hating on Floyd Mayweather and the question of whether or not this bout was staged. Listen to what Pacquiao states to show that he has an understanding of what this bout was actually about.
Manny,
I woke up, I saw the highlights, and I was like, that happened last night? Well, what about you? When you saw it, what did you think?
Me too. What is this?
So there was no exhibition. It was something that they both planned, and it happened. Is that what you think?
Abnormales is trying to lead him into an answer where he wants Pacquiao to say that it was a fixed exhibition match. Listen to what Manny says here to show you that he understands what it actually was.
I think the boy, the Japanese guy, is expecting that this is just only exhibition and doing. But I think there's a moment there that Floyd got hit in his face by throwing straight, and then he get mad and
that was it?
Yes, that's it.
And that was it. And that's all that happened. So, once again, even Pacquiao knows it wasn't a fixed exhibition. What happened was that, Mayweather went in there to play with the little dude. And however serious the little dude made it was how serious Floyd was going to make it. Once the little dude embarrassed Floyd by hitting him with that straight left, Floyd said, okay, now I'm going to show you what it's really like. And Pacquiao understands that. It wasn't no damn fixed fight, all this dumb shit.
So you're not saying yes or no to Floyd Mayweather right now. You've said that it's one fight at a time. You want to get past Broner first, but you must have signed with PBC because it's got such a stacked welterweight division. Who do you want after Broner? Who else is on your list?
That's a great question, Kate Abdo. Did you listen to what she stated? She asked Manny Pacquiao, she said, why did you sign with PBC? You must have signed there because they have a stacked welterweight roster. So the question begs to be asked to Terrence Crawford, who a lot of brothers get upset with me about when I state that, yeah, he might be number 1 overall pound for pound, or he might be 1A. Right now I have Lomachenko a slight edge over him, but, I could also see Crawford being number 1 pound for pound. But it's not based off of his resume. And once again, at this point in Crawford's career, he's 31 years old. Why would he re-up with Bob Arum when he claims that he wants to fight Errol Spence and all these other guys and Sean Porter? Supposedly he wants to fight all these dudes, but he wants to go back to the other side of the fence when he easily could have came over to PBC and gotten the same money, if not more, and fought all the guys that he claims he wants to fight.
I'm so thankful to Al, PBC, because I signed PBC because this is a big chance, a great chance for my fighters. I have a lot of fighters in the Philippines.
Now, did you hear what Pacquiao stated? He said, I'm so thankful to Al Haymon. That's what he said. Man left Bob Arum, came over to Al Haymon. and said, I'm so thankful to Al Haymon because not only is he going to have the opportunity to fight on PBC, but this is what Haymon does. Haymon also gives many of these top fighters a chance to bring in the talent that they find and display the talents of these young fighters in PBC broadcasts on PBC fight cards. So he helps them all out.
At least more or less 50 fighters. 50 fighters, and I want them to have a chance to fight here in America. So that's why we sign on PBC, and then of course me and myself and the fighters that I have.
There's a bunch of names in there though. Sean Porter's one of them. Who could potentially be of interest for you?
Oh, this fighter is this just started and young. Sean Porter is good fight. But
Are you interested in the Errol Spence Mikey Garcia winner?
Oh yeah, that's excited to watch. I mean,
Abner Mars asked Manny Pacquiao, are you interested in fighting the winner of Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia? Manny Pacquiao said, yes, very good fight. I want to watch the fight. In other words, Manny ain't trying to fight Errol Spence. Manny wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. That's what he came to PBC to do. He came to PBC to fight Floyd Mayweather. He's not thinking about no damn Errol Spence.
That's a fight.
And Manny, I think you know you're with PBC now. So any chance you and I can fight, you and Errol Spence, you and Mikey Garcia, you and Floyd Mayweather. Does that fight have to happen?
Of course it has to happen. Pacquiao taking these long dramatic pauses. It's the only reason why you came there, Manny Pacquiao. Let's be for real. You came to Al Haymon, or you had one of your representation call Al Haymon, and you asked Al Haymon, how can we make this Floyd Mayweather rematch happen? And Al Haymon said, no problem. You come and you sign with me and Floyd, because Mayweather Promotions is or does act as a co-promotion to PBC. You come and sign with us. You fight a couple fights under our banner. You'll get the Mayweather fight, and we'll also broadcast a lot of the young talent that you're able to find. That's how that went down.
For me, if you ask me, of course, I'm still in boxing, so if you want rematch, then why not? But he's in retirement. He said he's in retirement, so how can he fight?
Do you feel like your career would feel incomplete if you didn't have the rematch with Floyd?
Just say yes, Pacquiao, because you know damn well you're going to keep running with that damn shoulder excuse. And that's all it was an excuse. You had no idea how to deal with what Mayweather brought to the table. Now, let me say this. Pacquiao has been far more active than Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's, 42 years old now, so Pacquiao might have a better opportunity now. Because Mayweather is a fighter who was dependent on his non-pareil skill set, his reflexes, etc. Many of those things may have dulled in the last however many years since he's been an active fighter.
If you ask me, I want the rematch because I never thought that I lost that fight. I mean, I always...
If you never thought you lost the fight, why you want a rematch for?
I always think that I won that fight, but to have a rematch is to answer those questions in our minds, and especially the
question in whose mind? The only people who question the outcome of that fight are you and your fans over there in the Philippines. Nobody who knows boxing questions the outcome of that fight, Manny Pacquiao. Just knock it off. You have 7 losses on your record already. You got an excuse for every loss? The reason why I lost to Morales is because I have something in my eye. Yes, his fist was in your eye, Manny.
The fans. I mean, but he's still in retirement. If he coming back and then after this fight he will say, I'm going to fight you, then why not? I mean,
I think you're the only fighter that could bring him back. But that's up to you and him. But Manny, let me ask you, how many more fights do you think you got left in you?
Right now, based on my condition, my interest in boxing from passion, the way I prepare and the way I discipline myself, I still have a couple more years. I mean,
I need to see how you look on Saturday night for me to be able to tell you how many years of boxing you have left in you. Because Manny could possibly fight 5 more years as long as he's match right. When we ask the question of how many years Manny has left, we're talking about being able to compete with championship level fighters, especially in the welterweight division. So we're asking, do we believe that Manny Pacquiao has a real chance to defeat a Sean Porter, a Keith Thurman, an Errol Spence, so on and so forth?
2-3 years like that.
Then what? Singing? Or singing?
No.
No.
Political, right?
I'm busy in my office, working in office as a senator in the Philippines.
Oh, stop it, man. I'm busy as a senator. Stop. What you're doing is you're getting a certain amount of money to be senator. You're doing a lot of embezzling, Manny, allegedly. Everything I'm saying is alleged. You're doing a lot of embezzlement. You're taking some of that embezzlement money and you're giving it away to the poor people in the Philippines to make yourself look good. And you're still fighting because you want that to be your main source of income. But you're embezzling in the government of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao. But that will be found out down the line. No disrespect. Everything I'm saying is alleged.
And singing at the office too, right?
that
we might get you to sing.
That was
today.
before, man.
We might get you to sing today. We might.
We'd love it, Manny.
Because you want me to sing.
Make sure you stay with us, please, Manny. We've got loads more to come here on Inside PBC Boxing. We're going to witness...
But anyway, that's basically it on that. Once again, my prediction for this fight coming up this Saturday night is going to be Manny Pacquiao by decision. He'll probably win something like 9 out of the 12 rounds, maybe even 10 out of the 12 rounds. I do think that early on he has to be very careful. If Broner is to win the fight, it's going to have to be by stoppage, probably somewhere between rounds 4, no later than 7, though. I mean, unless Pacquiao has a drastic drop-off that we noticed in this fight. He is 40 years old. I just don't see Broner beating him. Honestly, I thought that Adrien looked like a defeated fighter in this last press conference yesterday. I think that it's starting to dawn on him that, well, I'm getting in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. And he's a bit worried about it. He keeps running with this bullshit about he's fighting for the hood and all this nonsense. Look, dude, you better be in there fighting to remain conscious, because this little dude is going to be trying to knock your block off. Bottom line. And all those karate sounds that you make when you're throwing punches, yeah, all that shit, none of that shit's going to work against Pacquiao. None of it. You better use your footwork. You better use your timing. And hopefully you're going to be able to counter him when he dives in. Because Pacquiao is a very, very wily veteran. He's going to set up that straight left very well. He hides it very well. So we'll see what happens. But once again, I have Pacquiao by unanimous decision. I do think that he's going to become more and more dominant in the fight as it goes along. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, for Adrian's sake, he can get the decision. But what Adrien really needs is... Adrien, he just needs a lot of mental help. Like, he needs to see a psychiatrist, because I feel like there's a lot of pain and damage that he's holding on to on the inside. I see it manifest itself with him, how he just explodes. He's very resentful about certain things that have occurred in his life for whatever reason. And I think that he needs an intervention. I believe that is why Mayweather has distanced himself from Adrien, because he realizes that Adrien is a very, very troubled soul. And it just comes out all the time. So hopefully he'll get the help that he needs. So peace.